right, back again. Fucking day 55. Back day. So, not a ton of volume in terms of, relative. What am I saying? Not a ton of volume relatively to my other lifts, right? Because leg day, that's going to be two muscle groups, right? Quads and hamstrings. Arm day. That's going to be two muscle groups, triceps, biceps. Chest and shoulder day, that's, well, essentially three body parts, right? Chest and then side delts plus rear delts. I don't really do front delts, they're already kind of big. But back, just back. So this will be one of my quicker lifts. What am I thinking? Probably same as normal. Some barbell rows, get into some kind of pull down. They have, so my gym has had a machine that's been under construction for months. It's some kind of pull down machine. But I tried it and it fucking sucks. So that was months of hype for a cool new back machine for nothing. So stick to the basics. Just try to go as heavy as possible. And hopefully at the end of it, got a fucking gnarly pump. So let's fucking get started. Oh man. Oh shit. It's fucking burning just standing here. Let's get another look through the shirt. Whew. Whew. Oh man. So, how hard was that? Just some barbell rows, some lat pull downs, some cable rows, and one set of pullovers. Okay, I guess that's a little complicated, but not that intense. God damn it. Get the fuck off me. All right. Let's see what we're working with here. Whew. We're getting fucking wide, goddammit. Let's see the back. So back day, not much to worry about. You know, when you're doing chest and you're benching, you got to worry about dropping the weight on yourself and fucking suffocating to death. When you're doing squats on leg day, the bar might crush your spine in half. But on back day, all you got to focus on is pulling the weight. I'd say in terms of risk of injury, it's definitely low. I don't know why I'm pointing that out, but whatever. Whew. So yeah, back pump's sweet. Got to finish some calves. Then we can go get a little bit of car talk going. God damn it. All right. Lift complete. Fucking back got thrashed. Yeah, that set of 365. That much weight's a little over my pay grade. Not there yet. 315, that's probably more like my bread and butter for the rows. Whew. But other than that, back getting thick. Fucking those pullovers were really going hard. Really good squeeze. Uh, those cable rows, I was considering doing a few more of those, honestly. They felt pretty good as well. What can I say? Good ass exercise selection. So, I got my post-workout shake. May as well just fucking slam it right now. Dextrose, protein. Look into it. 50 grams of dextrose right after every lift. Shit is going to improve your performance over the long term in terms of growth, strength, fullness. It's definitely going to help you. Now, don't let me oversell it. You know, it's all these, a lot of tips, like when I tell you to take your vitamins and, you know, take your creatine and like your post-workout shakes and whatnot, everything, you know, all of these are marginal improvements. But, you know, if you actually get everything on track, then over the long term, you'll definitely do better than had you not, right? In terms of like bodybuilding and long-term muscle growth, your best bet to actually make gains is to just gather knowledge, right? Gather as much knowledge and information as possible. Learn about different kind of splits, you know, different training methodologies, you know, learn how long you should rest a muscle before hitting it again, all sorts of shit like that. Now, I'm not saying you have to learn it overnight, but over time, just from consuming lifting content, you'll get the gist of it. And, you know, if you can then go a step further and apply that to yourself, you know, look at your own variables and your, you know, your response to training, your metabolism, your sleep schedule, your diet. Shit, man. If you get everything on track, you're gonna get fucking huge. So let me fucking slam this shit real quick. God, that is way too sweet. Ugh. Whew. Whew. Okay. What else is there to talk about? I'll be in a few, well, not necessarily as of late, but, you know, the idea of cutting for summer. What are my thoughts on that? You know, obviously, summertime, you want to fucking show off, right? Go to the pool, beach, vacation, spring break, everything else like that. You want to be nice and lean. So what do I think about that? Yeah, it's legit. You know, I'd rather, if I were to pick, obviously, I'd rather be bulking during, you know, the colder seasons, and then be cut when it's warmer out. So I didn't line it up like this; it just kind of happened. But when I bulk, pretty much I do like 2 bulks per year and 2 cuts per year. That's sort of how I line it up. So what I end up doing, and that's like just an estimation of how long I've been doing it. But for the last while, what I've been doing is 4 months of bulk, starting at around the beginning of the year. So, you know, when did I start this bulk? Like mid-January or something? I don't remember. Something like that. So January, February, March, April, bulking up. This one might even go into May. And then for 2-ish months, I'll cut down. So the way that'll line up is, let's see, do I remember my months? January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Yeah, so the way that lines up I'll be at my peak cut around July. So, get to fucking be lean in the summertime, look good. Hell yeah. So if you're let's say you're a beginner lifter and let's say you're just starting lifting right now, what do you want to do? Do you want to jumpstart your cut so you can be lean for summer, or should you start bulking? Well, my opinion for new lifters is always the same. Uh, Unless you are like obese, no hate, you're probably just going to want to start off bulking. And I don't mean that in like a crazy, get fucking huge, fat as fuck, eat everything in sight style bulk. I just mean that if you're a beginner lifter, your best bet is going to be, go online and look up your maintenance calorie, your maintenance calories on a maintenance calorie calculator. So you'll input your height, your weight, your age, your activity level, all sorts of little bits of information, and it'll tell you how much food you should eat every day to maintain your weight. So if you want to get heavier, and build some muscle, you're going to have to eat more calories than that number. And you're also going to want to eat about a gram of protein for however many pounds you weigh. So if you're a 160 pound dude, you need at least 160 pounds, 160 grams of protein. And, take your multivitamin, take your Flintstones, try to get some rest, find some fitness influencers who you can, copy workouts from, and you should be good. But if you are like, kind of not sure whether or not you want to cut or bulk, you may get caught in limbo. I see this a lot where, I go to the same gym like pretty much every year when I go to school. So I see the same people. I've seen them for years. And a lot of things that I hear is like, I don't know if I want to bulk or cut. I'm just kind of lifting. Zero progress is going to be made. You might gain a little muscle over time just from training and eating and maintenance. But I'd say after about a year of like what I'd say called main gaining as a new lifter, doing like a mild bulk and mild cuts, that's probably going to improve your rate of muscle growth. So yeah, I hear people all the time, I don't know if I should cut or bulk. Then they just stay the same. So if you're a new lifter right now, summer's approaching, just fucking start bulking up. Who gives a shit? Your goal isn't to look good for any specific reason, right? Like, I'm lifting right now, and I'm not thinking to myself, okay, once I get to this weight, then I'll be able to diet down, and then I'll look good. That'll be perfect. That's all I want. No, it's the way that I'm lifting is like, I want to get fucking huge over time. I want to gain as much muscle as possible over a long period of time. So the way I go about that is I'm fucking bulking up a few months, get kind of soft, and then cut down for a few months, take a break from the bulk, see the progress, and then repeat the cycle. Repeat that loop of bulking and cutting down. So, as a beginner, your goal shouldn't be. I would recommend that you wouldn't have a goal of like a specific look or a specific weight. If you can just convince yourself, like, all right, I want to get bigger, and then you go about your training and your whole lifestyle with that in mind, it's going to give you way better results than somebody who has, a goal of just being 180 pounds. Because once they hit 180, fuck, they're going to turn into the guy that's like, I don't know if I want to bulk or if I want to cut. I don't want to lose my abs. I hear that so much. No, I would bulk up, but I don't want to lose my abs. Okay, guess what? It sounds like you just don't want to get fucking big. That's when someone says I don't want to lose my abs, that just instantly translates in my mind. Yeah, I don't want to be big. I don't want to get any bigger than I am right now. Ugh. Fucking the perversion of leanness has infected the the fitness community. It's infected our impressionable youth, right? Everybody just wants to be fucking lean and aesthetic. No, come on. Get back to the roots of building some lean, contractile tissue. That's what I want to fucking see. Not 160 pounders and stringers listening to Ziz music. Nothing wrong with hardstyle, but you get what I'm saying. So, what was I even fucking talking about? Okay, if you're a new lifter, start gaining muscle. Do not try to diet down. You have nothing to show off yet. So you're going to want to build that baseline foundation first, and then you can cut down and see what you're working with. So if you want to bulk up, guess what? You got to get some fucking sleep. And that's where I am headed right now. So I'm going to try to take my vitamins real quick, eat my last few meals, and hit the sack. So I will see you next time. Had a little hiatus. I got kind of fucking busy the last 2 days. But fucking back on track. Arms tonight. Arm day. Day 57? Whatever. I don't remember. In the 50s. So the last week I've been totally fucked up on the meals. Like having to stay up extra late studying and shit. Dude, I've been like probably averaging 4,000 calories per day instead of the 6 that I should be hitting. I'm down to like I'm down to like 247 in the morning. Dude, that is so fucked. But a few days of consistently hitting the 6K, should be back on track. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. But in terms of like actually bulking or cutting, the most important thing is either having your gas tank completely full all the time, like when you're bulking up, or completely empty when you're trying to lose weight. Because just as like a general idea, your muscles have a shit ton of carbs and water in them, right? That's why people talk about carbing up for like a bodybuilding show. So inside all your fucking muscles, you've got muscle glycogen, which is just like sugar pretty much. You got about, I don't know how many grams, at least 500 or 600 grams of carbs just stored throughout your muscles at a baseline level. So if you want to build muscle, you want to just be overfilling your muscles with carbs constantly, right? So that's the point of bulking. You eat a fucking ton of food, more than your maintenance calories. That's going to keep you completely full, and that's what's going to be conducive to actual growth. And then, in the opposite case for dieting down, you want your carbs in your muscles to be completely depleted, because your body is going to burn carbs first as a fuel source. So if you're completely depleted of carbs, eating in a real calorie deficit, then your body's going to be forced to burn fat tissue. And that's the only way that you're going to gain or lose weight, is by eating a calorie surplus or a calorie deficit. There is no way around it. There are no tricks or special workouts that are going to help you lose fat, or, well, obviously workouts are going to help you build muscle. But in terms of weight gain or loss, primarily fat gain or loss, it's completely dependent on the amount of calories that you eat every day. People just don't seem to fucking understand that. So, enough of this little sprinkling of information. Let's fucking drink this pre, get in there and start thrashing arms. God damn it. Immaculate is an understatement to describe that fucking arm day. Holy hell. There we go. Fucking everything felt good. Went super heavy. Got fucking pumped. Now it's time to refuel. So that calf pump was crazy too. So now I got to think to myself, fuck, if I gotta pump this crazy and I'm down like 4 fucking pounds, that's still pissing me off. I gotta get back on track. But if the pump is this crazy now, after I get back on track with the fucking food, it's gonna be even crazier. So, still goal and weight 260. I gotta fucking get into hammer time. Or no, clock into overtime. You get what I'm saying. So post-workout shake, got the protein, the dextrose. I mean, I literally just finished my last set of calves 5 minutes ago. So let's just slam this as quick as possible. Jumpstart the recovery process. Oh my god. So if you actually do the dextrose shake, you know it's sweet as all hell. Okay, let's get out of here. So let's, if you're here, you've probably seen the TikTok. And I make a lot of posts, you know, like hating on science-based lifters. I talk about like ego lifting all the time. So, do I mean that exactly? No, that's kind of, the TikTok's a little more shock value-esque. It's not really necessarily my exact thoughts and opinions. So, in terms of, let's just say the ego lifting joke, when I say that, I really just mean intense lifting. I really just mean like going hard as all, I'm saying as all hell for a little bit today, I don't know why. But I just mean going hard as fuck. Lifting heavy as possible for reps, you know, maybe degrading your form a little bit, and just pushing yourself as hard as possible in the gym. Every set. That's the goal. Ideally, every set that I do should be like max effort, as hard as possible, like to failure. Now, obviously, not every set is going to be like that. You know, you technically always have a little bit left in the tank. You know, if you tell a fucking woman to deadlift 405 out of nowhere, she probably couldn't do it. But you know the analogy, you put their kids under a car, adrenaline kicks in, and then they get superhuman strength. I definitely think that's kind of gonna apply in the gym as well. Where if you've got a lame loser mindset, you're just like, oh, I'll do my sets, whatever. Okay, that feels kind of hard, I guess I'll stop. You're a fool and you're not gonna grow. Okay, you gotta just fucking, as corny as it sounds, like, you gotta be hype for every set. Even if, you know, in between sets you kind of chill, you goof off a little, talk to your buddies. But you got to take at least 20 seconds before your set. Say to yourself, okay, let's fucking go. Come on. And then you grab the weight. That's going to be way more conducive with real long-term growth than just exercising, right? I see a lot of people in the gym where they're lifting weights, but they're just exercising. They're not really lifting. And obviously not everybody wants to be a badass bodybuilder and try to become a monolith of muscle. But why wouldn't you fucking go hard? Doesn't make sense. So my hating on the science-based lifters, like when I say, oh, I never listen to science-based lifters, or when I hate on like JPG and stuff like that, it's not like, I'm not actually hating on that. I'm not hating on science-based lifting, right? Obviously, like when I train and when I'm thinking about training, I want to do it in such a way that is as close to the best possible situation as I can get, right? That's why I take all my vitamins. That's why I count my calories and my macros, and that's why I've sort of thought about my split and accustomed it to myself, and that's why I go hard in the beginning of the workout. That's why I do as many sets as I do, because as far as I can tell, that's the best case scenario for me to build muscle. And obviously, the only way I learned that is by, taking in information from other lifters and like watching YouTube videos to learn about shit. If there's a big guy in the gym, maybe go up to him, ask him for advice or little tips and whatnot. So, to an extent, yeah, I mean, it is a science. But let's take two lifters. I love doing this little analogy. If you give one beginner lifter a whole year and you just tell them to go to the gym, you don't tell them to watch lifting videos at all. You just tell them, go to the gym, lift some fucking weights, go hard. Maybe talk to some of the gym guys, learn some info there. You give them a whole year of that. And you compare that to some kid who spent a whole year just, looking up the most optimal way to do a lat pull down. And just like, because when I see people do that, when I see like an Instagram reel talking about this is the most optimal way to build your triceps, all that the video is fucking showing lame, half-assed lifting. And sure, the guy's explaining it well. He's got Sharpie on his tricep, and he's like, you want to position your body at a 45-degree angle to the cable and fully extend. Sure, whatever, you did the exercise right. But when I see those lifters posting, they talk about intensity. Like they'll say, you're going to want to, do an intense set. But it never is. You're never going to, I just don't see them, pushing forward the idea that you got to just go hard as fuck. And that's what's going to make you grow. Right? You ever hear of like farmer strength? That's because they just fucking lift all day. Boom, they're strong because they're going hard. So obviously there's some validity to what they're saying about muscle activation and whatever, but I feel like they're really lacking the curriculum of intensity, right? That's why whenever I watch like lifting videos, I love watching old training clips, like 80s, 90s. Jay Cutler fucking looking like a beast. Kevin Levrone, like shoulder pressing 4 plates. Tom Platz, just fucking screaming on the leg press. Or not the leg press, he doesn't do that. On the leg extension. Mike Mentzer. I don't really want, or Dorian Yates, another perfect example. Right? Those guys went fucking hard. And they didn't overcomplicate their training. Right? Who's gonna get a better workout? The guy who just spent like a cumulative amount of time of like 20 hours watching optimal lifting videos, or the guy who goes into the gym and he thinks to himself, okay, I'm gonna work out my quads today. I'm not gonna stop until I kill myself, until I literally destroy my quads. That intense mindset is going to overpower, the optimal mindset every day of the week. Now, ideally, you can have a mix of both worlds. But if you don't have intensity, and sure, you do your optimal workout, whatever. you do your bench and your flies and your cable press or whatever, but you don't have intensity, you're not going hard as fuck, you're not getting hype, you're not gonna fucking grow. So, I mean, in my mind, I think my workouts are perfectly sound in terms of fatiguing the muscle and stimulating protein synthesis. But, you know, if you follow every one of my lifts to the T, but you don't push yourself, guess what? You're gonna get zero results. Well, you'll plateau at a much earlier rate than if you know, go hard. So that's one thing I've not been seeing as of late in the fitness community. You know, the only time I see people going hard is if they're doing a 1 rep max, which is not going to build any muscle at all. They're just doing it for fun. Uh, Actually, yeah, that's pretty much the only time I see people going super hard. For the most part. You know, obviously not everyone. But you get what I'm saying. If you just, you know, if you actually have intent and purpose in your workout, and your music's blaring, your heart's beating, you're getting excited, that's the way that you're gonna grow. That is the way to do it. So let's see what else. Yeah, nothing else is changing. I mean, we got at least another, I don't even know how long I'm gonna push this bulk. At least 2 more months. At least. So I think that about does it. Let's fucking get back to the house, eat some more food, and then go to bed. Arm day tomorrow. I know, what the fuck am I saying? Leg day tomorrow. So I will see you then. God damn it. All right. This is gonna be day 50. Fuck, I think 59. Legs. Got some fucking legs to do tonight. Fucking excited. I so I had to take a little bit of a break from squatting because like my adductor was really tight. That's sort of like, that's the muscle that squeezes your legs together. So you're starting to get a little fucked up. So I took like 2 weeks off squatting, but it felt good last time, so should feel even better this time. But unrelated to that, I mean, standard procedure. It's just gonna do all of hamstrings first. Variety of, you know, different versions of seated hamstring curls. Maybe I'll throw in some RDLs of some kind. Then warm up the quads a little bit on leg extension, hit some squats, and then, you know, just keep slamming quads, be it via, you know, machine leg press or more leg extension, maybe some pendulum squat, maybe some Smith machine sissy squats. A lot of exercises at my disposal, so I'll try to figure out what's going to feel the best and then just fucking go hard. So, no point dilly-dallying. Let's fucking get started. If you're a betting man, I'd consider putting a decent chunk of chips on me having an insane leg pump versus, me not. So let's see what happened. Holy shit. God damn it. It's hard to get these fuckers off. Oh, there we go. Whew. Ooh. There we go. I have certainly seen worse. All right, let's get the breath hold veiny thumbnail. Oh my god. Whew. I don't know if this conveys over the camera, but I'm not flexing at all. And like, dude, holy crap. Whew. That's a considerable amount of pressure. Damn, calves looking fucked up too. Looks like the daily calf workouts have been showing results. All right, let's hit one more. Oh yeah. Oh. Oh. So, even though no squats, still, probably, this is literally as insane of a leg pump as I'm capable of getting. Like, I can't imagine being more pumped than this at my current size, right? So if you're bulking up, your goal, obviously, every workout is, for one thing, progressive overload, lift heavier weights, go harder, higher intensity. But on a more like lift to lift basis, like just day by day, you just want to get the craziest pump. Like that's how Jay Cutler says that he judged his workouts on, how good of a pump he got. Now, is that the only indicator that you're triggering muscle protein synthesis? Maybe not. It's because I could get a crazy pump just sitting on the leg extensions with like the 40 pounds with one leg, right? And I will have done far less work. So, my mentality has always been try to lift some heavy ass weight and pretty much finish the workout once you've got a crazy pump. And the way you're going to do that is sort of transitioning from your heavy compound sets in the beginning to, lighter squeezing, flexing sets towards the end. And by then, you should have a crazy pump. If you're doing more than like, I only do 11 sets per body part. So if you're doing more than like 15, I'd say just increase the intensity. Because in all likelihood, back when I started lifting, I heard somewhere that you should do 5 exercises and 5 sets each per exercise. That's per body part. So arms was 50 sets, 25 sets of bis, 25 sets of tris. And a lot of those sets just ended up being fluff sets. If you sit on the tricep
on like the rope push down, and you're doing like 5 or 6 sets straight, and then you got 4 more exercises with that many sets afterwards. Your intensity just isn't going to be there. So I definitely think Mike Mentzer, Dorian Yates, they knew what they were talking about when they say lift with intensity, right? Because if you do an infinite amount of sets, guess what? You're not going to get infinitely bigger. Volume is not the answer. It's pretty much definitely going to come down to intensity. So, fucking not much else to say. Legs got pumped to hell. I'm going to go do my sets of calves, and then we can get some card talk going. All right.
Whew. All right, legs fucking done. Even without squats, still a crazy pump. But the only reason I didn't squat is my fucking adductor hurts. Maybe I should do some kind of like massage, PT, stretching, whatever. I don't know. I don't know how I fucked it up either. I didn't do something where I felt it. It's just kind of been nagging me. But, I definitely attribute a lot of my quad growth to leg extensions. Honestly, yeah, leg extensions. That's pretty much my favorite quad exercise. Like, if I had to pick just one to do perpetually, probably gonna be fucking leg extensions. Because what's the point of bodybuilding training, right? You know, for the most part, isolation work. When you have chest day, you got a whole day dedicated to fucking chest. Back, same thing, all back. So legs, you finish hamstrings, you do a bunch of fucking crazy hamstring curls. Quads, fucking, in terms of just activating the quads, leg extensions is fucking bread and butter. So, still gonna squat, but, honestly, I probably could have today, but I know I just would have hurt myself more. So, damn, yeah, what fucking did it was doing those RDLs. That fucking pulled it just a little. Just enough to fuck me. So, I've been sipping on this fucking, the dextrose shake. So, right after every lift, 50 grams of dextrose, a few scoops of protein. It's just gonna fucking launch nutrients into your muscles. Because dextrose is basically like the simplest sugar you can get your hands on, right? Like table sugar and candy, it's still multiple, carbohydrate molecules, like multiple glucose molecules connected together. So they gotta jump through a few extra steps of digestion. But with the dextrose, it's just straight up like glucose, right? And that's the shit that's in your blood when you eat some kind of carb and you digest it. So what's going to happen is instantly you're going to spike your blood glucose, which is going to trigger, your body to release some insulin, which is going to just send that all out and, get to, what's the word? Give you some good nutrient partitioning, right? I'm not going to say one way or the other that, the anabolic window, that time right after you lift where you need to eat food to improve your results. I'm not going to say that's like 100% real. But logically, after you work out, your body's in a stress state. You're fucking you're fucking tired. More than likely you've got some cortisol floating around. Not good for you. So, the sooner you can get fuel, the better. Just makes sense. Oh. Yeah, that's fucking sweet as all hell. Okay. Let's get out of here. Let's fucking go home. So I got my spring break. I got a week off next week. So in terms of how that's going to affect these videos, it's not. I mean, they're still going to keep coming out. But, you know, you guys have been asking for it. So I would not be surprised if you look at your YouTube notifications or your recommended page and you see a full day of eating soon. How do I get all this food in? How the hell does that happen? Uh, I guess I have no point talking about it now. You'll see it then. Let's see, what else? So I've said this before, uh, warrants mentioning. People that skip legs, ugh, what the fuck? I don't get it. I don't understand what you're doing. It's, if you're just a gym goer, you know, like, your goal is just to go to the gym, whatever. I don't know, I guess. If you're not, like, that serious about it, then, you know, just do what you like. So if you just like hitting chest and shoulders and arms, you know, whatever. If that's actually just, you know, what you want to do, there's not really any shame in it. But, you know, if you're an actual, you know, meathead at heart, and, you know, you're going to the gym every fucking day, you're trying to get huge, or at least, you know, that's the mindset that you want to have, how are you going to neglect any muscle group? Right? Why would you think to yourself, wow, I want to look like this guy. Man, that guy's legs are fucking huge. Wow, that guy's back is huge. Why would you have that sort of, like, admiration mentality towards something, but then not want to put the work in to achieve it? Right? It just doesn't make any sense. So, you know, similarly to that, on like a tiny bit of a tangent, the same thing sort of goes for having a favorite muscle group to hit and a least favorite muscle group to hit. I mean, for me, I fucking like it all. You know, they're all different, of course. Like, arm day, in terms of general fatigue, is probably the easiest. Not to say I'm going easy, but, you know, it's the least fatiguing, and it's fucking cool to have an arm pump. You know, your arms look fucking huge. It's sweet. Chest is to lift some heavy ass weight. And then I also love getting a fucking sweet chest pump. Same for back, same for fucking legs. I mean, you know, if your goal is to get big and to, like, fucking build your body in all aspects, the idea of, like, repeating to yourself, wow, I fucking hate leg day. Oh, wow, I don't really like back day. Or, you know, whatever muscle group, you know, insert for you. Just thinking that, you're setting yourself up to have a worse workout for that specific body part. You know? Now, I'm not going to tell you, you know, man up, don't fucking complain or whatever. But, you know, I'm just sort of elaborating the fact that if you associate something with a negative mentality, you know, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start to neglect that specific muscle group. If somebody thinks to themselves, man, I don't like working out arms, what body part do you think they're most likely going to skip? Fucking arms. You know, if you want to get big as fuck all over, you got to hit it all over. So, even if you still want to say to yourself, man, fucking leg day is hard. Like, even me, you know, I'll, like, I was just think a lot of the times on legs especially, I'll be thinking about the leg day days before. I wouldn't call it like dreading it, but I would describe it more so as like feeling an anxious anticipation. Because I'm like, oh shit, leg day, that's going to be hard. Because, I mean, in terms of all the body parts that I hit in my split, legs is the most exerting, it's the most exhausting. But, I don't use that as a negative, right? At the end of the workout, as long as I went actually fucking hard, I get to say to myself, wow, that's a good ass fucking pump, hell yeah, even though it was hard. So, if you can't stop yourself from saying, man, I fucking hate arm day, figure out some way to embrace the difficulty. It's like, man, I fucking hate this shit. Come on. As silly as that sounds. But, the more, I say this all the time, the more excited you can be in the gym, the more hyped up. Consistently, the guy who's always fucking happy to hit his sets and to finish his workout and to fucking get his sweat going, that guy's going to perform way better than anybody else with, a less enthusiastic approach, right? Everybody's heard the saying, the guy who likes walking is going to go further than the guy who likes the destination, right? So if you can, figure out a way, by, adapting your training to your own specific needs, making sure you have a split that's effective for you and that you can maintain, and picking exercises and workouts that are actually effective, then it'll be that much easier for you to enjoy working out. And then I say this a lot, I mean, it's just a positive feedback loop. The more effort you put in, the more you're going to get out, right? Like, let's say you're a beginner lifter. You just spent, or you've been seeing a lot of fitness TikTok. A few of your buddies are lifting. They're like, "Hey man, come on, let's go to the gym. Come on, just come hit arms with us." Like, you start to get that itch that you're like, "Oh shit, all right, I do want to get big." So, let's say you watch some how-to, basic info. You just start consuming knowledge. You figure out a good beginner split. You look up some guys, basic chest day, basic back day. You get a basic approach to working out. If you actually stick to that for, fuck man, I mean, if you're actually going hard, even a month, you will notice changes. Be it in strength, how you look. And then, what's going to happen after you start to see results? You're going to want fucking more results. Then you're going to put more effort into obtaining information, making your split more optimal for you. Then you're going to get even better results. More and more, 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 more. It's just like a constant feedback loop. But, a lot of people will sort of maybe get on that loop for one rotation, maybe two, and then they reach a stagnation point, right? They'll lift for a while, they'll feel to themselves, hey, I mean, I know what I'm doing. And then they'll just keep doing the same shit every day. Like, they go at the gym with the same mentality, they're not changing their diet, they're not going through gaining phases and dieting phases. They've pretty much plateaued, and they're just maintaining a physique that, they're comfortable with having. But, with just a little bit more effort, they could be improving. And, I mean, name one person who doesn't want to be fucking bigger or stronger or leaner. I mean, you get to walk, you only got one body, man. Why wouldn't you want to be fucking badass? So, you get what I'm saying. If you're a beginner, you got about a month, maybe 2 months, where it might be hard because you haven't seen your results yet. And that's where a lot of people quit. Everybody knows fucking New Year's lifters. The gym's packed with newbies for 2 weeks, and then boom, fizzles out because they're like, this is fucking hard. I'm going home. I'm done with this. I mean, in a perfect world, I mean, not everybody wants to get jacked, but I wouldn't mind seeing some more freaks walking around. That's just what I like. Fucking being huge, goddammit. And I'm not even there yet. More mass to gain. It's the whole point of this bulk. So, getting close to home. I got a few more meals to finish. I already took my vitamins. Hell yeah. So, then I just got to go to bed. Chest day tomorrow. I'm starting to think that I will go to a different gym because I want to touch some dumbbells that will actually be heavy. I'm talking 170s at least. So hopefully, fucking once I pull up to the lift, it'll be a new gym. We'll have to see how that lines up. So I will fucking see you next time. God damn it. All right, so day number 59 is going to be chest and shoulders at an ungodly hour. All right. So game plan, obviously same as normal for every muscle group. Start off with some heavy shit, and then as the lift progresses, focus more on just getting a crazy ass fucking pump. So the way I'll do that, probably start off with either dumbbell or barbell bench, maybe a little bit of both. Then do some pec deck, some machine bench, like some machine press, and then finish off with flies. And then shoulders is just going to be spamming lateral raises and face pulls. I mean, shoulders are a pretty basic body part in my opinion. I mean, as long as you work them, adequately, which just doing a standard dumbbell lateral raise will do. Same with the face pull. Guess what? You're gonna work the muscle. You're gonna be able to finish the workout with a pump and a decent amount of fatigue. And that's all you need to do to stimulate, muscle growth. I get a little bit annoyed when people do very, intricately designed workouts. They got it planned to the T. I feel like you got to be a little bit more subtle with it, right? As a beginner, it's probably not going to hurt to have a set workout plan because you don't really know what you're doing yet. You got to get used to lifting weights. Oh my God, I almost hit a cat. But yeah, okay, so as a beginner, you don't really know what you're doing yet. You need more experience in the gym. But as you progress, you should be able to understand the general idea of how your workout's going to be. And you'll be able to, change a few things, pick different exercises that, you feel like you're going to like on that specific day. So if you tweak something, you'll be able to just work around it rather than, just having to say, oh shit, my chest is kind of hurt a little. I guess I won't do any chest. But if if you use your brain, maybe you try out some light pec deck, and that feels okay. You gotta be fucking smart with this kind of shit. So I gotta finish drinking this pre, and then we can fucking get in there. Should be dead as fuck.
Last set, I think I'll just do the same shit. Flies, take a step in front, presses, but then, just as a little extra, I'll drop the weight, like by a considerable amount, and finish just with some high to low flies. Should get a really good stretch and just kind of put the finishing touches on the pump, if you will. Holy shit. All right, let's go check the damage. Let's get the exposure down a little bit. Whew. So, not rocket science. It was just what? Barbell incline, dumbbell incline, pec deck, machine press, and then cable flies. So what was that? Barbell, dumbbell, pec deck, machine cable. 5 exercises. I guess that's a few, but whatever. You know, all it was in the end was just going as heavy as fucking possible for the most part, and then finishing off the pump at the end. So I can already feel my fucking chest is brutally tight. Let's see what it actually looks like. Oh my goodness. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god. That's a goddamn pump if I've ever seen one. Oh. Okay. Well, that's enough of that. Let's fucking get some shoulders going. Okay, so in terms of my shoulder training, I only do side and rear delt. Considering all the like incline chest work that I do, the front delts are developed enough. And in general, a good sign of whether or not you should be hitting front delts or not, at least, you know, from my opinion, is like if you sit here and you do a like a bicep flex like that, and your shoulder is higher up than your bicep, your shoulder's probably big enough. At least your front delt. So for me, like, I don't know if you can see from over there, but like the shoulders, it's got an inch in height on the arms. So for me, the arms need to catch up, and that's sort of a sign, at least in my opinion, of how it should look. So I always start with rear delts because I want to finish with a side delt pump. So first exercise, just do some laying face pulls. I explained this last time, but when you do them standing up, you have to like counterbalance the weight. It's just annoying. So if you put a bench by the cable, you know, you put your head right underneath of it. Then when you grab the rope, you don't have to worry about balancing your body. All you're doing is flexing the rear delts. So I'll probably do like, I don't know, 5 or 6 sets of this, and then move on to pec deck. I think it'd be kind of boring to just watch 5 sets of that, so I'll just show the one. Okay, so I did 6 of those face pulls. Not crazy heavy. If you go too heavy on the face pulls, you're just gonna end up working your traps. Not ideal. So heavy enough to where I could really flex the rear delts. So now I'll just finish off with 5 sets of the reverse pec deck. Again, not like crazy weight, not like the whole stack, but just enough where, you know, set of 15 to 20 with a really good squeeze feels pretty much, I don't know, good. So for me, you know, in this workout, obviously chest was pretty much the showstopper. So shoulders is a little less intense, but you know, still just getting a pump. My mentality with shoulders is a little bit different than other muscle groups. You know, I'm not trying to throw around as much weight as possible. I don't think it's necessary for your shoulders. For the most part, you know, I go moderately light. Like, I'm never trying to push a set where I can only do like, you know, 8 reps or anything. All these are like closer to 15 to 20. Really just about feeling a burn and getting a good pump. This little corner of the gym has kind of grown on me for the posing. The lighting is kind of badass. So, shoulders was just the, you know, 6 sets of face pulls, 6 sets of, 5 sets of reverse pec deck. And then all I did was 11 sets of dumbbell lateral raises. And holy fuck. Like, even just standing here, my shoulders are tight. It's kind of a hard pump to even describe. Like, if you've never had a crazy shoulder pump, it's like you can't really rest at all. Any way that you position your arms, like even just standing here, like it's just like sore and tight. So let's see if there's any visible changes. Oh my god. What do you think? Maybe a little? You'd have to scroll back to the chest pump to kind of compare. Oh yeah. A little rounder. Oh yeah, sweet. So, this right here is what I'm talking about. When I say, I guess I didn't say it yet in this video, but a lot of people overdevelop their front delts in relation to their side and rear. So, from the front, big front delts look good. You know, it gives you this sort of front shadow. It's sweet. But when they stand to the side, they'll kind of look all hunched like this, and they won't have this line. Like you see this shadow, that right there on top of the tricep, that's just because my rear delt is developed enough that it's poking out. Because having a big rear delt will give your shoulder real good roundness from the side. Honestly, I couldn't imagine what I would change to make that chest and shoulder day any better in terms of just like overall feeling, the pump, the weight that got moved. That was fucking badass. So I'm gonna finish calves and then we can get some car talk going. Whoops, the sun's up. Oh, that's fucked. That is fucked up. I forgot to mention it. 20K. Oh my goodness. 20,000 subscribers. That is fucking badass. More to come, goddammit. But that is a
That is a good sign. So, don't think I'm not grateful. All right, this is fucking sweet. But on a more lift-worthy note, it's fucking badass workout. So let's just slam the carb shake. Dextrose, 50 grams of protein from protein powder. Oh, oh. That is fucking gross. If you do the dextrose like you should, post workout every lift, it is overwhelmingly sweet. Because, I mean, what is it? It's fucking sugar added to your protein powder. Essentially, it is not table sugar. Do not confuse dextrose with table sugar. Right? Dextrose is its own thing. It's a different kind of carb. Because just regular table sugar, like, that's some kind of sucrose or whatever. And it's going to have to go through a few extra stages of digestion before it hits your bloodstream and gets sent to your muscles. But the dextrose, being, the simplest form of carbs that you can get your hands on, as soon as you take it into your system, insulin spike, nutrients to the muscle, and you're going to recover more at a, let's see, how should I say this? You're not going to, like, feel night and day crazy once you start doing it. But, the same thing with, like, taking your vitamins and, it's just a reflection. The same thing with, like, taking your vitamins and creatine and stuff like that. It's just going to add up over time to improve your results. There's not necessarily one specific aspect of training where, once you implement it, you're going to go, whoa! It's pretty much a long-term thing. But the more that you can implement into your routine, the better, right? Let's say you're a lifter, you go to the gym every day, but you don't take any pre-workout, and you don't take creatine, and you don't sleep that much, and you don't really have an awesome workout plan. You just kind of go in and do whatever. You'll get a little bit of results, but you're leaving so much on the table. So the more different avenues of progress that you can optimize, the better, right? So you take your vitamins, you try to get a lot of sleep, take your creatine, your pre-workout, the shit that's proven to work, and your dextrose. That's another fucking, that one's it's kind of an underrated secret. Nobody really talks about that now, but it's legit. So, fuck. Let's get back to the workout. Yeah, chest. Holy shit. 6 reps and a half, because I had him help me on the last one. Fuck yeah. But that's exactly what I was saying after the last chest day. So if you didn't see it, I did four plates on incline as the first working set, but I only got 4.5 reps. Like, I did 4, and then I needed help on the last one. And what I was saying then was just the action of touching a weight that you haven't touched in a long time, or, that you've never touched before. Just the action of repping it, even for a few, is gonna put the idea that you can do it into your mind, right? It's gonna become a reality that you can hit it, right? So let's say, oh my god, I'm literally just saying the same shit from the last chest day verbatim, but whatever, I'll just run with it. Let's say there's 2 lifters, right? Both of them have the potential to hit 2 plates for, let's just say a single. I don't condone doing 1 rep maxes, but let's just say it for argument's sake. They both have the potential to hit 225. Like, that is their absolute max. Now, one of them hit 225 for one last week. And the other one has, let's say last week, the other one failed 225. He has yet to do it. You know, in terms of probability, the guy who has already touched that weight before and knows in his mind, like he truly believes that he can do it because he's done it, guess what? He's probably going to hit it again. And the guy who has yet to do it, he might be a little more nervous, a little bit more timid during the set, and, you know, he might not hit it. So I think that's what let me get those 2 extra reps just from, you know, a few days time from doing it the last set, because I just was more confident in myself and I knew I'd be able to hit it. So going up in weight, like trying to touch a weight that you haven't before for, you know, a heavy set, it can be a little bit overwhelming. Like I was definitely getting a little nervous. You know, 405 with no safeties, it's fucking freaky. But still hit it. Felt like a badass after. What else can I say? So that definitely set the tone for the whole lift. Like when I was warming up, you know, I was whatever. I was excited. Like I wasn't, you know, dreary. But after that first set, I definitely got way more excited. So, you know, just bounce around, hit the dumbbells, whatever, crazy chest bump, and then finish with shoulders. Simple. So, oh shit, So sometimes I think about what I'm going to say during these little car talks, and I was thinking about something earlier, but now I fucking forget it. What was I going to fucking talk about? I don't remember. Fuck. I know it was something good too, because I was like, yeah, that'll be perfect. So, this week's my spring break from school. I think I'm gonna go back home for at least a few days. So I'll be in a different gym, a little bit of a change of scenery, and that gym does have heavy dumbbells. I think they go up to 180 at it's in Columbus. It's called Metro Fitness. It's a fucking badass gym, super old school. It's the gym that I filmed, you know, spring bulk day 1, you know, that first leg day in. And it's fucking badass over there. I love it. If I was still like living in Columbus year round, that'd be my main gym. So keep an eye out for the, you know, some new, what's the word? New scenery? Whatever. Keep an eye out for a new location in the next few thumbnails. But I'm gonna go home, take my vitamins, fucking eat my last few meals, and sleep all day like a fucking vampire. So I will see you next time, goddammit.